Welcome, adventurers. Here's what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
Mia reaches out to Falzarin with a sending spell, and the party reunites in Isabella's abandoned clinic in the city of Zexa. The spoils of their recent activity are divided amongst the party members, and the use of the Coven's portals has Shakara's temper flaring. After a brief rest to cool down, the party steps back through the portal to Heraklion.
And now, on with the show.
The party steps into the smooth, polished hallway of this Coven portal system.
Before we exit to go to the keep, there is something that you two should know. Heraklion is in a civil war.
I'm sorry?
After the actions of Sardo in Alamar's body, Isabella was forced to discredit him and take away his eldership. He has many supporters on the island that did not take kindly to this action.
Yeah, kind of like, what's his face? Mullen?
So, as far as we know, Heraklion and its inhabitants still believe that this is the real Almar.
Correct.
This is outrageous!
And Alamar, it probably would be best if you stayed quiet. I do not feel it would be in our best interest for Isabella to know you are around.
I would tend to agree, given this news. I do insist we find my body quickly.
We can look for it. We have no idea where he is. Can you sense it?
Unfortunately, no.
I look over at Falzarin and I go, so Isabella might take care of our Sardis problem. This might work out great.
Yeah, you might be right. I fear for the citizens of Heraklion.
Okay, so we don't go through the V door, right?
No, it is this one. Also, please, do not antagonize Isabella. I am not on her side, but I do not feel it is a battle we need to engage in at this time.
I agree, Chikara, and once again, I apologize for the situation that you're in that I contributed to. I have no intentions of trying to rock the boat, as they say.
Falzarin, I appreciate you saying that. And I too am sorry for the way I reacted.
I understand.
All right, let's go get these artifacts and not piss anybody off. I agree.
I miss me a rockin' boat, I tell ya, but I think I'd be maybe taking this circlet off for the time being.
Probably wise.
Be sporting around hot goods.
Yeah, that might be a bit risky.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I fiddle with the things I stole in my pocket.
Let's just get in and try and lay low, not cause any waves.
I'll open the door.
All right, and nearly instantaneously you are transported to the other side of it, in the keep, the Great Hall with the portal. And you see Isabella is kind of standing in front of, that there was a large, long table. Her two bodyguards, of course, they seem to be really just in that post against the far, northern wall right between the two large double doors that open up out into the little patio area, the kind of outdoor area. Isabella, of course, obviously acknowledges your entrance. She kind of holds up a finger as she turns back to Halsa addressing. In her other hand, she holds a polished iron token. Looks familiar to all of you. Oh, Halsa, I'm telling you, this scapulet would look marvelous with your robe. Just put it on. And Halsa's kind of taking a little tentative step back, just shaking her head. No, it's quite all right.
Falzarin's eyes go a bit wide at the mention of and at seeing this scapulet.
Oh, no bother. Ah, Shikaro, you've brought the whole party today.
Hello, Isabella. Have you had a chance to procure the items we talked about?
Not quite yet. They are en route, though. I should have them. A matter of hours, perhaps later tonight.
All right, that delays our journey.
I understand, but Tinnerman can only work so quickly. But please, you're welcome to stay in the guest rooms of the keep until I have the items finished for you.
I look at the others. What say you?
I sort of put my head down a little bit, shake my head, and go, sounds good to me.
There is not any other errands we need to run?
Here in Heraklion?
Elsewhere, we have access to most anywhere on Aspara.
Oh, geez, I haven't given it much thought.
If we're gonna be staying the night, I mean, Shakara, you talked about trying to check out a store, like find a new sword or something?
We would have to go back to the mainland for that.
I just remember you mentioning it,
A new sword would be nice.
I suppose we could. We have some time, it seems.
Yeah. Magic, eh?
Sounds like a plan.
Speaking of travel, Shaft, Falls, did you enjoy meeting my sister? Jessica, she mentioned she had an impromptu visit.
Yeah, it's not what I expected. I mean, she was pleasant. I really sort of like her.
How lovely.
Yes, on that topic, Isabella, I would just like to state for the record that was primarily my doing and my tinkering with something that I
Falzarin, we
probably
have gone
shouldn't
over
have.
this. I do not think we need to belabor the point.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
okay.
agreed. We're good. Izzy, what's the best port to take? You know all these portals. What's the best magic shop? Who can we give them your name and maybe get a discount?
And who exactly do you think I am? And I don't barter or trade goods.
Yeah, sure you don't.
Where was the magic shop we had gone to before?
Goldum.
You went to one in Goldum, and you also went to one in Drukal.
Izzy, I mean, you're someone of influence. That's who I think you are.
Well, feel free to drop my name wherever you might go. I'm not sure what it will get you.
Shaft, do you know where a good magic store is?
Well, I mean, Goldum was, they were pretty reasonable, I recall. It wasn't in the best state last time we were there. And, there's always Drukal. There's everything there.
We could portal to Zexa and walk to Drukal, or we could portal to near Goldum and walk there.
I personally, I have some bad memories from Goldum. I'm not sure of how eager I am to go back.
My.
Walking from Zexa to Drukal, that's too long. This is
Yes,
just a couple-hour break.
That's much too far. I'm sure I could get something from one of the paladins here on the island. Maybe they have some weaponry. Is there something specific you might like, Shakar? I mean, we are family after all.
A nice long sword that has some enhancements would be quite lovely.
Oh, I'm sure we could sort something out. She turns back to Halsa and kind of dismisses her, to setting her off on the task. And Halsa kind of scurries out of the Great Hall. Jessica gives her condolences. She is eager to meet you, Shakara, but her work in Victor is nearly complete, and she's kind of on a bit of a deadline. I'm sure you understand.
Maybe one day I can travel there.
Is there a magic in Victor?
Well, do we want to go back to Victor, though?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind heading back to Victor for a while, but...
Yeah, I do need a bit more supplies for my spellbook. I was actually kind of eager at the thought of doing some shopping now that you've brought it up.
Isabella might have paper, right?
Well, if all you need is some inks and parchment, yes, there's plenty of that in Heraklion.
Well, I don't know. Do you have a portal that goes right into Drukal? If not, where we just came from's not that far. We can just go to Goldum. Goldum is not that far away.
See, Isabella, mayhaps would not be a bad idea to include a portal to Drakal.
Sorry, I couldn't predict your needs years in advance.
Mayhaps it's something that could be worked on.
Perhaps the day will come where I can show you how to grate them.
I would greatly appreciate that.
I look over at Falzer and give him a little smirk. Like, see?
Yeah, as much as I have some reservations about Goldum, maybe it's the easiest. Why don't we go there and see if we can find a shop?
All right, Isabella, I'm sure you have important work to attend to. We shall return.
I am sorry to see you leave so quickly, but I imagine I'll have the items you need when you return.
We appreciate that.
And I'll go back to the portal and say the activation word.
Mia's gonna be like, they could have given me potions for free. I'm gonna have to go pay for potions. This is stupid.
I'll follow.
Yeah, Falzern will follow as well.
Mia was happy to stay. These portals. She gets motion sick.
We'll go to the cave north of Goldum.
Back to cave north of Goldum. So you just want to immediately trek to the city then?
Yes.
What time of day is it? What's the weather like?
You're nearing nighttime now. It'll be well after nightfall by the time you make it to the city. So you'll be traveling part of the way in the dark.
That's all right. We're not new to that. I say we start. So as we're walking towards Goldum, when we were there previously, we saw a blue light way off into the distance. Are we close enough as we walk to be able to, familiar enough to remember where that was and see if it's still there?
Yeah, you'll have to wait till nightfall. So probably when you're closer to the city, you'll be able to make it out more clearly. But there's tales of the blue lights being able to be seen even from the Isle of Heraklion on the clearest of nights. So for sure, once the sun has set, you'll be able to detect or try to see if you can see any sign of a blue light. Absolutely.
So as we're walking, I didn't see Tenchi and Janella and all the other elders. I wonder what they're up to now that there's a civil war going on.
That is a very good question.
Yeah, Shakara, did we find out which side they fell on? I'm not sure.
Isabella did not say.
Yeah.
Mayhaps they are in their studies.
Yeah, Shakara, I was hoping that maybe you would have run into, I haven't seen Tenchi, Janella, or Hefe. Have you, by any chance?
No.
No, that's what we're saying.
We have not spent a whole lot of time in the keep.
What about Jacqueline? Did you guys run into Jacqueline when you were there?
No, we did not see her either.
I don't know.
But again, we did not spend much time. We went straight...
No, I get it. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on and where everybody is. Now that Drag is gone and we have, a whole new thing going on in Heraklion.
My first guess would be down in Alamar's dungeons, but we didn't check. We didn't go...
Wait.
Why would they be there?
Civil War, they're probably against Izzy.
Well, why would she have That's what I am struggling to put the pieces together here. Why would she have elected them only to...
The Civil War started after that. It wasn't until after the events at the Knowledge Center.
She made influential people in the town elders, making them think she's on their side, and then...
And then what?
Get rid of them.
They got rid of Tenchi? And Hefe?
It's my theory. Take care of the competition.
I will say I was a bit shocked when they were up there on there as being elected as elders. I didn't understand why those three.
It's just one theory I have is that she tried to, win them over and surprise them.
I believe Janella very deserving of the honor.
I just don't see Janella joining up to
become an elder.
Not that she's not worthy, of course.
I would not put it past Isabella if she found them problematic.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying is I think for one to come to Heraklion, look around and see who would give her the most trouble, right? Identify them. Win them over. She tried that with us.
If they're in danger, then we should try to help them, right?
Well, I do not believe, would hurt them. She needs them to maintain her illusion.
I have no evidence that they're being held or hurt at all, Shaft. This is all just a gut feeling I have.
Could all be for naught.
I tend to listen to gut feelings a lot more than people.
I'm learning from you, I think. I'll do anything to stop these Nyogi if Isabella stands in our way and these helpless people are harmed or in harm's way. We'll protect them.
Speaking of that, I reach down into my pocket and I pull out this ring of the ram that I had. This belonged to a friend of mine. It might come in handy. And I hand it over to Mia. You can punch people from really far away.
Oh.
It's pretty cool. Try it on.
Great. Okay, thanks. Does it fit my tiny finger? So is this like Skyrim, or can I wear more than one ring at once?
Yeah, you can wear 2 rings.
Okay.
The activation word is to blave.
To blave.
Yeah, you gotta say that or it won't work.
What does it mean? Never heard that.
I don't know. That's what my friend used to scream all the time. Sort of annoying.
To blave.
But you gotta put it on and point it at something. Not at me!
Oh, well, I probably have to learn how it works first.
Yeah, you have to sit down and mess around with it for a while. You'll figure it out.
Thanks, Shaft. Appreciate it.
And then we just keep walking and looking around, of course. Is there anything odd going on our voyage?
So for those of you that have basically walked this path before, which is actually only Shaft, really. I mean, Falzarin was in the belly of a giant 5-toed toad at the time. But basically, you're tracing the path, Shaft, that you had taken as you were, I think someone had cast a locate object, I think, to trickily use it to chase Falzarin. But it's fairly barren once you're out of the hills, and it's open. And of course, the sun does begin to set, and as it gets lower and lower in the sky, you don't see any blue light coming from what would be south of Goldum. There's very, very faint luminescence in the distance, more to the southwest, which would be closer to the tower south of Victor. And as you approach the city, of course, if you recall as players, the armaments, the few levels of protection that had been erected and taken down and not been strong enough, and then everything being thrown back up. Sure, walking through the pit traps and the spike traps and all that stuff. You notice, though, once you kind of get to the city proper, that inner wall, is still standing. But mounted on some of the taller buildings now kind of within the wall, right, within the protection of this makeshift wall, there's actually giant ballistas kind of peppered around the city, clearly in some type of response to the attack from flying creatures, like the gargoyles that aided in the abduction of Falzarin so long ago. Seems the city they've not done nothing about it. They've tried to adapt and again increase their armaments and defenses. And you come to the wall, the scalable wall.
Okay. Is there anybody on the ballistas? Any guards or anything looking out over the walls?
Well, again, they're not ballistas on the wall. They're on the actual buildings within the city. So they're not within shouting distance of where you are currently.
Okay, you guys have been here before. How do we get in?
Well, if I recall correctly, there's a gate on the other side where we fought this bull type thing. I think there was a door that you could get in. I think it's around the other side of the city. We got to be careful walking around the city, though. We really need a goblin on a rope.
What?
Goblin on a rope.
Yeah, that's the best way to find the traps.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
That-
sounds awful.
Yeah.
Oh, for the goblin it is, but for us it worked swimmingly. But I think we can find our way.
You kept some strange company.
I agree.
And still do. Let's go.
I give him a look.
Circling the perimeter, you do come to the gate. It seems like with no opposition. And actually posted outside of the gate and above, where before, when you were here, like during the attack, like there wasn't anybody outside of the gate. But there's actually 2, I guess they would be guards, but paladins of Cultus, clearly emblazoned with the symbol outside of the gate. And they, of course, notice your approach.
I wave.
Jig's up, so we just walk up, yeah.
They regard you. Travelers,
Good day, sirs.
do you have any trouble approaching the city?
Not really.
No.
Didn't see anything, really.
Should we have expected trouble?
The city, as you may be able to tell around you, has suffered some difficulties, but our forces have moved in, and we're here to protect it now.
Difficulties, you
That is
say?
good.
You mean all this wreckage?
Seems they suffered constant attacks from a malevolent force, but we've stymied it, and you are free to enter.
Thank you, yeah. We're
Thank you.
just here to get a good night's sleep and maybe do a little shopping.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
Thanks, well met. And I walk onto the door.
Yeah, they call up to the guard posted above the gate, and they kind of hoist it up and let you into the city. And walking immediately through, so, again, the last time the two of you were here, there was, even on the immediate other side of the wall, the perimeter wall, right, there was boarded and emptied buildings, like abandoned structures, to try to move in as far into the center of the city as possible, away from potential attacks. But it seems like many of these whether they're shops or even residences, are no longer boarded up or empty. They seem to be back to being inhabited by whomever owned them or rented them or whatever arrangement they may have had in those buildings, as if things seem to be recovering or getting back to normal. And strolling about the streets are quite populated, and there are many people in various armor with, the paladin symbol on them, plates, strictly leather, people that are not armored but would be maybe something more like a magic caster, but have like on their robes this same kind of thing. Like there's many people wearing the insignia of the paladins, in addition to others that would assumedly be just citizens of Goldum.
Well, this is certainly interesting. I can't believe the spread of the paladins.
Yeah. Maybe we should head to the inn, get a room for the rest of the night, and then head out to magic in the morning.
Yeah, it just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, seeing this many of them.
I mean, personally, I find that sellers have better deals at the end of the day than the beginning of the day, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah, it's on the way, but I could definitely use a strong, stiff ale, if you know what I mean.
I would never say no to an ale.
Yeah, I don't have any real preference one way or the other as to what we do.
Alright, where are we going?
Well, we can head to the Jiminy. I start walking that direction.
I follow.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, and the Jiminy was closer to the center of the town, where like the mayor's office and the Church of Joaquin was, where Gozer had been healed. You can certainly find your way there. I mean, you've walked these streets before.
Yeah, as we walk, we're just sort of taking the lay of the land, looking to see how well the cultists are ingrained into. Does it look like the people of the town are welcoming to them, or they look like they've been enslaved, kind of thing?
I would probably describe it as more of an indifference. It certainly looks like the paladins are like walking patrols and not, out for a stroll while in their armor or anything. You do certainly see the odd acknowledgement as they pass Goldumians.
Goldumians, I love it.
Great.
As they pass Goldumians in the street.
It's canon now.
Probably better than Goldummers.
Goldenanians. Nope. Goldumians.
So there's not much interchange going on between the two of them. It's kind of generally a respectful acknowledgement from any of the citizens of Goldum.
Do I know much about Joaquin or that church at all?
Why don't you roll me a history check?
Yeah, like old family friends, cleric to cleric. 13.
You're familiar with the deity of Joaquin. She is also referred to as the Golden Lady.
The Golden Lady.
She's all about commerce, really, and the exchange of goods and services.
Okay.
As we're walking by, I'm going, hey, there's the church we went. That's Mother Celeste's place. She likes to put some money in her pocket for helping us out. But, to each their own. That over there, that's Blake Lakely's place. He's
that?
a unique individual. He's the mayor.
Oh, you did tell me about him.
Everybody sort of knows about him if they like it or not, really. But, yeah, he's a nice enough guy. Just, he's full of himself a bit.
Oh, right.
And then down here, the Eagle, you see that this is a nice place. I mean, they have a mean shepherd's pie, right, Falzern?
They certainly do.
Sounds delicious.
It's extra spices of some kind. I don't know.
I'm hoping that they've got some prepared for tonight or tomorrow.
You'd eat shepherd's pie for breakfast? Ew.
He'd eat shepherd's pie anytime.
It's good any time of day. Gives you a
Keeps
hearty
really well.
constitution.
Uh-huh, I can tell.
You find the Jiminy Eagle is quite crowded. Again, a mix of paladins and Goldumians.
Go. I'm sorry.
And you do notice that there it doesn't seem to be a table of a mix of the two.
Is there a spot we can sort of plop down, or do we have to sit with another group of some?
You could find an empty spot. I mean, if you'd like to sit, I mean, in the middle, there's kind of this long table, the communal table. If you'd like to sit at one of those and chat some people up, feel free. But you could definitely find a private table if you needed to.
I think the communal table's not a bad idea. I sort of just walk in and sit down at the end of this big long table, and I sort of hold my hand up to the others like, is this fine?
I'll join him.
Nod, sit
Looks
down.
good to me, Shaft. Yeah, I'll pull up a chair.
Now, I've never been here, Shaft. Falzern, were the paladins in
Alright.
occupation last time you were here?
Not that I recall.
No, Mia, this is a dramatic change from last I was here.
Yeah, I mostly spent my time in Eltonshik, so I don't know. Haven't ventured this way. So, from what we know about the paladins, though, that's not a good thing?
It certainly worries me a bit.
I am quite confused as to my feelings on the paladins now. I do not know if they are good or just do not want competition from the Nyogi.
Right.
It's hard to tell. I mean, they're just keeping order here right now, so they seem like... And these are just soldiers, I sort of say in a whispered breath.
And I didn't see blue light. Didn't you say there was blue light last time?
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Something fishy's going on, I think. So I raise my hand up and call for a waitress to get some drinks. And I got the first round, and then I lean back and I look over at Mia and Shakara and go, "All right, fill us in. What's going on?"
What's going on with what?
I mean, when you guys went back, looked around, any new news that you haven't told us yet?
We went back. We went to get Grimby.
Yep.
We made a small stop at Tinnerman's.
Mm-hmm. We've got the things. I mean...
Isabella told us about discrediting Alamar. And that caused conflict.
Is he talking about... Is he talking about Cultus?
And Cultus was having a meeting with Isabella.
Samuel Cultus?
Do you know of another?
I only have heard of him.
Shaft.
It's so...
Keep your voice down.
Yeah, I look around. So he's in Heraklion then.
Yeah,
He was going to Heraklion. I don't know if he is there yet.
he's on his
Though
way.
Isabella did say paladins, so I assume that means he is there.
Do you have any idea what this meeting could be about?
I have no idea.
And you did mention that she and she was going to give the weapon to Samuel, right?
That is what I know.
Something like that.
So I look over at Falzer and I go, since the tower's not down here in Goldum anymore, at least we don't think so, maybe they're moving it someplace else and gonna put the weapon on it.
What have you two found in your travels?
Well, that's the thing, Shaft. Do they move the towers, or do they move the artifacts that fuel them? That's what causes the light, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That all I really know about the towers, or at least the areas, you need this cube to get close to them.
Okay.
They put out a blue light.
Yeah, I mean, if they can move a structure, that is incredible, but it could be possible.
You might be right, Mia. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never been close to one of them.
What were you guys doing in the portals? What did you find out about Jessica? You said you like
Yes,
her?
where have you been?
Well, we did go to Vixture. As you know, we didn't know where we were going to end up. We thought we knew where we were going to end up, but of course, we walked out and
Shakara gives you a look.
we were in the clock tower in Vixture. Either of you been to Vixture before?
I have not had the pleasure.
Not I.
I'd been there before, and there was no clock tower in the middle of the city. Then last time I was there, about a month ago, there was this large clock tower. And I don't even know how they built it that fast. But when we came out of the portal, we were in that.
Is that why you think they can move structures? Whole towers? That's incredible.
I mean, I assume since there's a portal in there, this has something to do with Isabella.
There's a oh, right.
And since Jessica's there with her 2 floating skull friends,
What?
2 floating skull friends.
Do they
What?
have names?
there's the 2 floating skull friends, Numb and Skull, ironically.
So you said she's nice, but her work there is almost complete. What does that mean?
She didn't go into any details. She basically told us we had the option to stay or leave. And we chose to get back in the portal and leave.
Those are kind of always the options. Stay or leave.
She wasn't very generous about letting us stay and then come back and use the portal again when we were ready to leave.
I mean, we could have
Okay.
left the tower, but that was the end of that.
Huh. Great.
She certainly was an interesting lady. She seems to be unable to see without the use of some sort of magic.
That is interesting.
And she could see right through my invisibility spell.
What?
Yes. It's very interesting.
Well, the sisters are powerful, right, Shakara, from what you know?
From what I know. Yes.
How can she see? Do you know?
I assume it is some spell or relic or something.
It may be, yes.
Was she wearing goggles?
No. I believe it may have been another unusual object that was in the room that was seeing for her, but I can't say for sure.
I have ceased to be surprised by the different items that can do different things.
I mean, hopefully they have some in the shop here. That's what we're here for. Let's load up on anything that could help us. These
Yes.
Nyogi are going to ruin Aspara. And I kind of say it like, these Nyogi are going to ruin Aspara. Because I don't want the paladins to hear me. Is there anyone close to us at the table?
Yeah, there's a group of 2 or 3 people, maybe a chair or 2 between you and them. And then it's kind of at one very far end of this table, there is a cluster of paladins. And again, there does seem to be some type of separation, whether it's a purposeful thing or they just don't mingle. It's difficult to tell.
Is there somebody that looks like they're from the town sitting close to me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to order another couple round of beers, sort of scoot over a little bit close to him, look over, sort of give him a nod of the head, and go, hey, I haven't been here at Goldum in a while, but last time I was here, wasn't so occupied by... I sort of give a little thumb point over to the paladins. What's up with this?
And you kind of lean over to, he is an elf, and he's actually sitting with a female elf as well. They seem to be sitting together, and they're, quietly conversing, much like the five of you were. And he does have a mug of ale that looks like it's nearly been drained. Yeah, well, that's something new, actually.
Yeah, is it a good thing?
As soon as they showed up, the attack stopped. I mean, once they ousted Mayor Blake Lakely, things seemed to get better.
Yeah, I heard about this guy Lakely. What'd you think of him?
To be honest, he was a bit of an idiot, but he kept the city thriving, kept it rich.
Yeah, that's the same thing I heard. Hey, can you hand those beers down here? And I take the 2 beers and slide them over in front of both of them. Go, yeah, so everything's been pretty cool then for a while. Sounds like it's not that bad of a place to hang out for a few days.
We've started to rebuild. Paladins are actually helping with that too.
Wow. So, no more danger then. Sounds like, Aspara's on the mend.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I definitely wouldn't recommend traveling through the forest to Victor at all. I hear they're still having their own troubles.
Oh yeah, what's going on there?
Well, have you heard about the sickness that's going on there?
Somebody brought that up, but I don't know what kind of sickness is it.
Just rumors make it here, but it's not a place I would recommend going to, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Thanks for the advice. I think we'll probably steer clear of that.
I mean, I do hear the Paladins have tried to help them out too. I don't know to what extent.
Really? Take another drink. I'll look over at Falzern.
Now, hi. Nice to meet you both. You don't happen to have noticed any blue light that has been around in times past that you could see at night?
Oh, that's always there.
And is it still?
Come to think of it, it's a little dimmer than it used to be. Sorry, I don't get out of the city much. Once things started going to hell, you just kind of put your head down and hope to get through it.
I see.
But you know what? Now that you say it, the light kind of went away with the Paladins showing up.
I see. I was wondering if that may have been the case.
Yeah, last time I was here I saw a blue light, and I didn't really think much of it at the time. But, I wonder what that's all about. Are these guys, I noticed they're sort of sitting off on their own. Are they, sociable enough? Can you talk to them and get the skinny?
I mean, you could try. Maybe buy them a drink. They don't seem to really like to converse with us.
Huh.
I think they're pretty militaristic, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Seem to be set in their duties. Don't often see them with much downtime, actually. This is more than I've seen in Jiminy for quite a while, actually.
Now, back to the blue light. There also used to be quite a problem with feral animals around Goldum. I take it that hasn't been an issue for some time. Do you think the timelines line up with the blue light going away, the paladins arriving, and the feral animals disappearing?
I guess so. I just chalked it up to the president's presence of, more blades to protect the city, but could be more than just a coincidence.
Very interesting.
While I see Shaft and Falzern kind of hushed talking to the civilians, I'd like to just point out that Mia is not drinking. She's staying really vigilant and scanning the room.
Okay.
Just kind of like on guard more than usual, especially after they said, the paladins weren't in occupation to her just weeks ago, so.
Shakara's waving for another ale.
Shakara's getting lit.
And Grimmy's definitely joining Shakara. Hey, it feels like it's been ages since I enjoyed me a hearty ale. Drink up, Shakara. Cheers.
Cheers, this is
Grimby,
good stuff.
stop saying Mia. It's really confusing every time you say Mia. Mia Boat. Mia Hardy Ale. It's my name. It's confusing.
Sorry.
I literally, every time you say it, like my ears perk up, right?
I've never noticed until you just mentioned that.
Been a while
now.
since me had a boat. Mia, okay.
That's so good.
I think I'll sort of pat the guy on the shoulder and say, well, have a nice evening, and sort of slide back over to Shakara and Grimby,
Okay.
and just sort of fill them in a little bit and go, yeah, the blue light that was here before sort of went away when the paladins got here. It's odd.
And I have my suspicions that coincided exactly with these feral animals that were plaguing the city disappearing as well.
Well, did we not discover Titterman was supplying those metal beasts? How is this all related? It's so confusing.
Well, if they're out to get rid of the Nyogi, maybe they're on the move. I mean, you said that Sammy was heading up to Heraklion, right?
Yes.
The Nyogi, in my experience, were being transported, but I haven't run into them that often. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I can go talk to one of these paladins if you want me to.
If anyone could get anything out of someone, it'd be you, Shaft.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea, but I would be very careful, Shaft.
I was gonna say it couldn't hurt, but then I don't know.
What if... Hear me out, Shaft. What if I cast a zone of truth? They're drunk. They'll know they're under a spell, but they might be more truthful with us.
Are they drunk? Or
Yeah,
are they
that
relaxing?
seems very dangerous.
Okay.
Maybe we keep that in our back pocket and see how this goes.
Yeah. I think that should be a last resort.
I'll stay here and survey. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna look and see if is there a table with like two of them.
Yeah, you can find a pair for sure.
Okay, I'll go grab a couple ales from the bar.
I'll go over. I'll be Shaft's wingman.
Okay. Of course, we'll have one each ourselves, so we don't look too much like we're trying to pick up on them. So
The guy on the
walk
left
over.
is kind of cute.
Yeah. I sort of shoulder to give him a nudge, and go over to the table and go, "How you going, guys? How you doing?" And lay the two beers down on the table and go, "Yeah, this is just for thanking you guys for cleaning the town up and getting everything back in order. It was a hell of a mess before you guys showed up."
Yes, it's really incredible. What a difference. We appreciate it.
Well, that's appreciated as well. And you see they both kind of grab the drink, kind of slide it in from. They don't quite take a sip from it yet.
Okay, so I go, "All right." I start to turn around, and then I stop, and then turn back around and go, "Hey, by the way, what happened to the blue light that used to be out? I mean, man, that was a pretty thing at night. I really liked looking at it. Now it seems to be gone. Is that something you guys take a swig of my beer have something to do with?"
I wouldn't suggest getting close to any lights you may see out there. It could be dangerous.
Oh, I'm not leaving the town. Not at all. But I was just curious why it was going away.
Business has been conducted.
Oh, well, none of my business. Just curious. I used to look at it. I noticed it sort of dimming, and I thought maybe you guys had the skinny on it. So what's the next move? We got Goldum all cleared up. I heard. I don't know if you guys can talk about it, but Vixture has some problems over there. I was planning on taking a trip over there, but not now.
I wouldn't recommend that either. Travel through the woods, not safe. He kind of eyes you up, though, like kind of seeing the weapons on your hip. He said, I imagine you could probably take care of yourself, though.
Yeah, I'm okay with the sword. I've had my few dealings here and there, but I mean, I'm from Drakal, really, and just came down here to Goldum for a while and stuck it out, but was on my way to Vixture, and now I hear there's some kind of, I don't know, sickness or something.
The city is under quarantine, yes.
Do you know what caused it?
I think that's still being sorted. We'll do what we can for them.
So you guys heading up north to try to clean everything up. Up in the mountains, I've heard there's a lot of orc problems.
That may be the case. Haven't made it up that far myself. We're stationed here, and this is where I'll be.
I mean, I look over at Falzer. We're all for the paladins, cleaning everything up all around Aspara, right, buddy? Give him a clink of the glass.
Yeah, for sure. I'll cheers to that.
Well, we're always looking for new recruits.
Oh, yeah? Really? Where would I sign up?
If you do find yourself down by the south gate, they'll be able to help you.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, we won't bother you guys anymore. Good night.
Have a good night.
Stay safe.
Happy adventuring.
Happy adventure.
Live long and prosper.
All right, I think we go back and sit down and go, it's sort of a dead end. They didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. But I think they're just soldiers.
Have I seen anything worth my attention, Leland? In my time examining the bar.
Is there a specific activity that you may find interesting? Are you just looking for general rowdiness?
No, people drinking by themselves. People
A
that
ranger
look like they're
sitting in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
people look like they're communicating
call him Strider.
in hushed tones.
Other than us.
Things being passed.
I was gonna say, you noticed 4 people.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just kind of looking.
Yeah, you can give me a perception.
14.
I mean, you definitely see nearly everybody, even the paladins, do have a drink in front of them around here. A few tables may be seeming to get loud, but you don't notice anybody sitting by themselves. As again, it is quite crowded in here, especially along this communal table. The communal table is nearly full of people as well. But it doesn't seem like there's anything nefarious going around, or really anything that would catch your eye or seem out of place in here.
Okay.
All right, I think we just all sit around, drink for a little bit longer, and then have maybe a little bit more of a... So, what's the plan, you think? We go get the artifacts to help us with the Neogi. We go to Mount Necrosis, try to find this gauntlet. And then we head back to Isabella and give it to her, right?
When we were at Tinnaman's, I found these.
And I'll pull out the parchments of the armor. And I'll spread them
What's
on the
that?
table.
Right.
They are written in Sylvan. They are armor pieces. You can see we have the helm has disguise self on it, it says. The gauntlets blast magic energy. The boots grant fleet of foot. And the chest plate enhances strength and constitution. Now you can see these parchments, they are quite old, but Tinnerman had them. If Tinnerman was remaking this armor, why are we being sent to the mountain to find a piece of it?
Falzer, you immediately recognize these parchments. You've seen them in Isabella's Zexin cave.
Yeah. I look over to Shaft,
Bucklers.
raise my eyebrows.
Bucklers.
What?
What?
What does that look?
This looks very familiar to me.
You have seen these before? You have seen the armor?
Well, I think maybe parts of it.
Does it look like the gauntlets that he had wore at one point in time?
I mean, these specs look exactly like the Arcanist armor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shaft, you remember our friend, the Arcanist?
How could I forget?
Who
Keeps
was
popping
that?
up.
Well, he was, as far as I know, just a normal citizen of Aspara, but he got his hands on some of these pieces of armor that weren't really his. And he sort of named himself the Arcanist once he had applied these pieces of armor and acquired the power that they gave him.
I see.
I believe he found them in a cave that was occupied by Isabella.
Yeah, they Must have been a demo version because they didn't work too hot when you used them.
Well, sometimes it can be challenging to use magical equipment that you haven't spent the time to learn how to use properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Isabella built this armor or had this armor. Now we're getting it back? Who would have... Someone took it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Where is that armor now?
Yeah.
Most of it fell apart. It didn't work right. I think we just left it. Tossed it away, really.
Mayhaps that is why we are seeking the original. The replacement did not work, as was expected.
I wonder who the armor's for.
Cultus.
You think Samuel's going to wear it?
Yes, I told you.
We know Samuel's
Isabella
gonna
is
wear it.
sending me to get the armor, to give to her, to give to Cultus, in exchange for the items that power the towers.
Right. I guess it makes sense that Samuel would want to wear it himself.
Do we really think Samuel's trying to take out the Neogi, or is he just trying to get more powerful? Do we have anything that would make us believe either way?
We have no reason to believe one way or the other. Just Isabella's word. And Cultus's word to her.
All right. Well, where did you get these things? At Tenderman's?
At Tinnerman's. Where else did you go besides Vixture when you were going through the portals?
Well, we sort of jumped around and we pop out of a place and we didn't know where the hell we were. We jumped back in until we finally found our way back where you guys came and picked us up.
That was yet another place you did not know where you were.
No, I had been there before.
You had been to Zexa in that clinic.
Oh, yeah. That's where I met Isabella for the first time. Some time back.
Yes, it seemed like it had been abandoned for a long time. It was probably the safest place for us to rest for a little while until we could meet back up with you and successfully navigate through the portal.
Why did you need to rest? Did the portal wear you out?
Well,
Right.
a bit. It was taxing on... I was very frustrated that I couldn't get it to work properly.
I only know how it feels to me. I do not know how it feels to others to go through the portal. Not being in the group.
Yeah, maybe it drains them of their strength.
Does it feel that way to you, Mia?
No, not when I've only traveled with you, though.
I feel mighty right. Slams out an empty tankard.
Right.
Another!
Yes, another!
The portals don't be affecting me there, Shakara.
That is good to know, Grimby.
So as we drink a little bit more, we're looking at these blueprints for the armor. I'll go, hey, Falzarin, you remember what Bryn told us was in Lakely's office?
Yes.
Yeah, big pictures of himself. That's what I heard.
Well,
Yeah.
not just that.
Oh?
She saw some other things, like I think the blueprints of the actual towers and how they worked. Apparently they've had these things around for some time, and it would be nice to get a hold of those. That way we'd know how that all fits in.
Yes, I think Blake's father was involved in coming up with the blueprints for these towers many years ago.
Why do we need the blueprints for the towers?
Well, the towers are what potentially could hold the weapon, right?
We're sure of that?
Well, it's our working theory, I guess, at the moment.
Again, why would we need to know?
I think it's in our best interest as a group here, since we don't know anybody else we can fully trust, even Isabella, that we have the most information we can to find out what we need to do for the betterment of Aspara.
So wait,
I acknowledge what you're saying with a nod.
the cultists and the Lakeleys were in cahoots?
Potentially, yes.
But now Lakely's been ousted and the paladins are occupying. I wonder what happened.
I think Lakely wanted out. I mean, didn't hear a lot of... I sort of keep my voice down. Didn't hear a lot of good things about the paladins. They were raping the land and and driving all the beast out of the forest.
Right, so did he want out or did he get forced out?
He was going to pay for us to take out the towers.
Yes, I know, and I mean, will you ever get your money now if you find these artifacts that Isabella promised us?
I think that cash is long gone.
So that mission, it's over.
Yeah, but now we're just looking to figure out what's the best course of action. Are they gonna? I mean, I don't particularly want the paladins taking over Drakal, if you know what I mean. That would put a damper on my business.
Why would they be taking over Drakal?
They seem to be moving north.
What gives you that idea?
Well,
Yeah.
I sort of look at Falzer and I go, we did see a map.
Where?
Yeah.
Well, the map had the paladins' ships heading towards Heraklion, which that makes sense, right? Because you said that's where Samuel's going.
Yes.
Okay, so you were in the...
It also showed a tower
Where?
up by Drakal.
Where was this map?
So yeah, you've seen some sort of military map.
Yeah. Well, we saw a map, but it had stuff on it from the paladins.
Where was this map?
Stuff from the Paladins, Shakara, put it together. They were somewhere where the Paladins are at in headquarters.
Let's just keep our voices down. There's lots of listening ears around.
I look around. Is anybody raising an eyebrow?
Drawing a couple cases, yeah.
Where was this map?
I start rolling up the maps. We don't know. We came out of one of the portals and we saw a map on a table. Then we saw what it was and got the hell out of there.
What else did you see in this place?
I look around the room and go, it's not the place and not the time.
You can simply tell me real quick, and we can be done with this.
There was a table and a map. We looked at the map. I'm telling you what we saw.
It looked to be something that perhaps a general or someone might use. And my guess is that it's somewhere that either Samuel or someone higher up.
Okay.
in the Paladins
Mia's gonna
would
interrupt.
be.
Let's go get rooms. If we need to talk in private, let's talk in private. Because people are starting to turn heads.
I think that's a good idea. And that's our show. If you're not already, be sure to follow us at IncorrigiblePar on Twitter, Incorrigible Party on Instagram and Facebook, and you can go to incorrigibleparty.com for world lore and PC information, and we've recently started adding some maps there as well. Incorrigible Party is generously sponsored and made possible by Critical Hit Design. For any of your design needs, visit criticalhitdesign.com. All ambient sound and music is provided by Tabletop Audio, and our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can reach him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Happy adventuring!
It's time for the third bracket of the 8th finals! We've got 2 tragic matches for you today, listener. Allies forced to turn on one another. The blossoming flower of love crushed underfoot. Nothing will be the same after today. In the west, small in stature, big in reputation, the gnomish tinkerer, Alstoff Tinnerman! Versus the mysterious leader of the paladins, savior or conqueror of Aspara, Samuel Cultus! Alstoff attempts to get in some early blows here, winding up some of his inanimate birds and setting them loose. Samuel pulls the greatsword off his back, swinging for a home run, but he's blasted backwards as the blade makes contact. These birds are angry and they're packing an explosive punch. A quick recovery from Sammy as he dodges 2 more bird bombs. Damn, he's fast in that heavy plate armor. He's closed the distance on Alstoff, gleaming blade twice the length of the gnome arcing through the air. It's wait? Samuel's blow sparks and grinds through metal as Alstoff's tiny fingers whirl over controls he wears in a leather gauntlet, directing a contingent of his toy soldiers between himself and Cultus to catch the sweeping sword. Samuel's strike easily cleaves through the slight frame of the 2 tin men, harmlessly clanging off a third as he loses his momentum. But there's more man-on-man action where that came from. 5 more surround the paladin mogul. You can hear the whirs and hums of their gears and cogs from the announcer booth. Bludgeoned and slashed, battered and bruised, Samuel is a force of mighty nature parrying and counterattacking his way through Alstoff's soldiers, reducing them to scrap metal. Alstoff looks terrified as Samuel stalks toward him, fingers frantically manipulating his gauntlet as Samuel grabs a hold of his wrist, lifting the gnome into the air, crushing controls and bone alike. For the second time today, it looks like the end of the Tinkerer, and for the second time, he's saved. The weather die says hot and sunny on a cloudless day, but a shadow streaks across the arena floor, sand kicking up from the beating of massive leathery wings as a coal-black mechanical dragon descends upon Samuel. The mechanical myth collides with the menacing man as the gnome is sent sprawling. It would take a polymorphed ape Samuel to contend with this threat. Cultus is just no match against rendering claws and a blinding radiant breath weapon. I'm not sure where he's scurried off to now, but Alstoff Tinnerman is our winner. On to our next matchup. Oh, this can't be good. It appears Alstoff has lost control of the dragon. It's currently rampaging through the crowds. It might take a minute for us to sort out these technical difficulties, folks. Please stand by for our next match. Well, now that's all sorted. On to our Eastern matchup. She's the keeper of knowledge for Heraklion, storing the good books in the back. Janella! Versus the dwarf who's cornered the market on magical items, best friends with Hef-A, Tenchi! This love story can only end in tragedy as Janella immediately winds up with the largest damn encyclopedia I've ever seen, swamping Tenchi over the head. Looks like another woman has Tenchi swooning and her name is Britannica. Something's happening. Tenchi is bringing out the big guns and summoning a tattoo creature. Oh, he has a tramp stamp too! How on earth did he tattoo himself there? A giant vulture has formed and Tenchi is hopping on his back. Reports from the arena floor are coming in. Janella is berating Tenchi. She's always hated his tattoos, saying they make him look trashy. Hey now, no kink shaming here. But harsh words cut Tenchi deep, a solitary tear running down his cheek as the vulture takes to the air. Janella seems prepared, withdrawing scroll after scroll from her bag, throwing everything she has at Tenchi. Sleet storms and magic missiles somehow narrowly missing. Oh gods, they're slamming into the poor crowd again! Thankfully, most of them have either perished or just never came back after the dragon attack. Jeez, old Pete, we need to put up safety guards or something. Down to her last scroll now, Janella does the old unfurl and hurl as she sends a fireball streaking through the air, catching Tenchi mid-swoop. The giant vulture cooked to perfection before snuffing out of existence. The dwarven rider, now hot under the collar, plummets into the smashed stands, impaled through the chest on a long, discarded, beautifully crafted, fan-made sign rooting for an old crowd favorite, Grimby Chum. That's one way to break someone's heart. Janella is victorious. Wow, thrilling stuff. And educational. We learned that dragons and crowds don't mix, and the custodial staff really needs to clean under the arena seats more often. Hopefully we learn just as much as IP March Madness 2021 continues.